we will solve quadratic equation by factoring. So we start here, okay, and then hopefully we end up here. So let's start. Brace yourselves, get your notebook, and solve with me. So the start equation or the starting equation would be x squared plus 8x plus 7 equals 0. Okay, in factoring, we have to get the two numbers. When we get to multiply, the answer must be 7. And when we add them, the answer would be uh, the leading or the middle coefficient here, which is 8. Okay, so factor x squared, the answer would be x times x times x is x squared. So the two numbers are, I think, 1 and 7, but let us try what is the best sign that we can use. Okay, when we use positive 7 and positive 1. So 7 times 1, the answer would be 7. That is correct. 7 plus 1, the answer must be 8. So there are feet. So the next one would be we have to use the ZPP rule. So x plus 7 equals 0. We equate that to 0. And x plus 1 equals 0 as well. Okay, isolating the x here, subtracting negative 7 both sides. Okay, um, there you go. X would be equals 0 minus 7 is negative 7. Okay, same with the other side. We have to subtract negative 1. I mean, subtract 1 both sides. The answer would be x equals negative 1. Okay, so we subtract both sides by negative 1. Okay, so the two answers would be negative 7. Okay, this one. The two answers would be negative 7 and negative 1. It can be vice versa. Negative 1, negative 7, or negative 1 and negative 7. So let's proceed to our next equation. The next equation is x squared plus 7x plus 12 equals 0. Okay, so let us find out the two numbers. When we multiply, the answer is 12. When we add, the answer must be 7. Okay, let us try. Let us try 4 and 3. Because when you multiply 6 times 2, that is 12. That is correct. But you cannot add 6 plus 2, the answer is 8, or subtract, the answer is 4. But how about 4 and 3? 4, 4 times 3, we use positive sign. 4 times 3, that is 12. Okay, correct. How about 4 plus 3? That is 7. So our two numbers or two factors would be x equals 4, or x plus 4, then x plus 3. So get the CPP rule. We use the CPP rule, factoring them. I mean, equating them to 0. We transpose 4 to the other side. The answer would be x equals negative 4. Okay, because we have to subtract 4 both sides. Okay, same here. X equals negative 3 must be the final answer. Okay, so the answer would be, or the answer would be negative 4, and negative 3. Okay, so let's proceed to the next problem. The next problem would be x squared minus 2x minus 35 equals 0. Go ahead and pause this video if you want to basically solve this one first with me. Find out the two factors. So factor of x squared, x times x. The two factors, when you multiply negative 35, when you add 2. Let us use 7 and 5. 7 and 5. Okay, 7 and 5. Now, what about the sign? Okay, so the sign here is negative, so maybe one of them must be negative. Okay, so let us use negative 7 and positive 5. Okay, so negative 7 times 5, the answer would be Okay, negative 35. Okay, because negative 7 is uh because they are different signs. So the answer must be negative sign. What about negative 7 plus 5? That is correct. The answer is negative 2. So the sign of the negative 7 must be copied here and then subtract them or subtract the absolute 7 minus 5. That is 2. Okay, so our two factors would be negative 7 and positive 5. So applying the ZPP, equating it to 0, x plus 5 equals 0 as well. Okay, transpose x equals positive 7. And then also we have to transpose that x equals negative 5. You know what to do. Okay, so x equals 7 and then x equals negative 5. I think the answer goes here. Okay, so in this question, the answer is 7 and negative 5. So let's proceed to the next puzzle. So the next puzzle would be x squared plus 12x plus 36 equals 0. Okay, so let us try to find out the two numbers when you multiply the answer is 36, when you add the answer is 12. I think let us use the option would be 6 and 3 and 12. No, we have to use 6. Okay, I think this is a perfect square trinomial. Okay, positive 6. Why? Because 6 times 6 is 36. 6 plus 6 is 12. Okay, so the answer would be x plus 6 equals 0. X plus 6 equals 0. Since they are the same, we expect that the answer must be the same as well. Okay, so transpose and positive 6 to the right side of our equation, x equals negative 6 would be their final answer. Okay, so there the solution here is positive 6 or negative 6 rather. The negative 6. Okay, from our answer or solution here. Okay, so we proceed to the next one. The next one would be x squared. Okay, x squared minus 2x minus 3 equals 0. Okay, so there you go. We have to find out the two numbers again. When you multiply, the answer is negative 3. When you add, the answer is negative 2. Go ahead and check what are the two numbers. Okay, let us use 1 and 3. Okay, but the answer is the constant term is negative, so we expect one of them must be negative, but the sign of the middle term or leading coefficient is negative, so we expect that the negative sign would be in the negative 3 or 3 because this is a much bigger number than 1. Okay, this one is positive. Why? Let us check. 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. 1 plus negative 3 is negative 2. Okay, so x plus 1 equals 0. X plus minus 3 equals 0. So the answer would be x equals negative 1. X equals, this one is positive 3. There you go. Where is the answer? So let us shade this one. The two answers or two roots would be this one. Okay, let's proceed to the next equation. Okay, the next problem would be x squared plus 2x minus 3 equals 0. Okay, so we get the factor of that 2. So x times x, we have 3 and 1. So this one is negative, but the middle term is positive. So expect that this one is positive. Then this one is negative. Okay, so again, let us check. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. 3 plus negative 1 is positive 2. There you go. We have x plus 3 equals 0. X minus 1 equals 0. And then we transpose x equals negative 3. Okay. Also, x equals positive 1. Ayan na nga, no? Nakuha na natin itong part na to. Let us proceed to, the answer would be 1 and 3. Ngayon, proceed tayo sa x squared, okay, x squared minus 10x plus 16 equals 0. Then, we get the factor, x times x, okay? The two numbers are, I think, 8 and 2. So, mararamdaman nyo na talaga bumibilis sa kayo maghanap ng factors. But the sign would be negative in the middle term. So, the big number is negative. This one is positive. But the answer would be x minus 8 equals 0. X plus 2 equals 0. And then x equals positive 8. Also, x equals negative 2. So, these are the two possible answers. Okay, 8 and negative 2. So where is that? 8 and negative 2. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The sign would be different. Why? Because the sign of the 16 is positive. So this one must be, okay, let us change this one. X minus 16. X minus 2 rather. Okay? Negative 8 times negative 2 is positive 16. Negative 8 plus negative 2 is negative 10. There you go. So we have x minus 8 equals 0. X minus 2 equals 0. Our answer would be x equals 8 and then x equals 2. Okay? 8 and 2. 8 and 2. So we proceed to the next one. So let me erase this one. We have x squared plus 3x minus 40 equals 0. So what are the two numbers? When you multiply, the answer is negative 40. When you add, the answer is positive 3. So let us use 8 and 5. But this time, the answer or the sign of the middle term is positive. So we expect this one is positive. The 8 one is positive. And the other is negative. 8 times negative 5, the answer is negative 40. 8 plus negative 5, the answer is 3. Okay, the two answers must be, okay, x minus 5 equals 0, x equals negative 8, and then x equals positive 5. Okay, negative 8 and positive 5, or vice versa, positive 5 and negative 8. Okay, now we have x squared minus 12x, okay, plus 35 equals 0. So that is our equation. Okay, getting the factor of the two, x times x. Then we have 35. So 35, we use 5 and 7. Okay, but the answer is, I think the answer must be positive 35 when you multiply them. But in the middle term, the answer is negative 12. So we use both negative. Okay, so x minus 5, then x times x minus 7. Negative 5 times negative 7 is positive 35. Negative 5 plus negative 7 is negative 12. So x minus 5 equals 0. X minus 7 equals 0. So our answer would be x equals 5 or positive 5. Then x equals positive 7. Okay? So in this equation, our answer would be both positive. So we have our next problem, x squared plus 5x, okay? So x squared plus 5x minus 14 equals 0. So getting the factor of the two, x times x, okay? The number, when you multiply negative 14, when you add positive 5. Okay, let us use 2 and 7. But this time we have to use, one of them must be positive, one of them must be negative. Okay, I think the answer here is positive, so 7 would be a positive 1, and 2 is negative. Okay, so using ZPP rule, x minus 2 equals 0, x plus 7 equals 0, and then this one, x equals positive 2, x equals negative 2. There you go. So which one is, oh, not negative 2, it's negative 7. So the answer would be, okay, this one we have to jump, okay, to the top. 2 and negative 7. So this is the next question. The next question is x squared, okay, x squared, x squared minus 5x minus 6 equals 0. Okay, again, factor them. So x times x, no, we have 6 and 1. Okay, both negative. So uh, let us use negative sign here, and this one is positive. Let's see what will happen. Negative 6 times positive 1 is negative 6. When we add them, the answer is negative 5. Okay, x minus 6 equals 0. X plus 1 equals 0. X equals 6. X equals negative 1. Okay, let us check 6 and negative 1. There you go. Okay, as we move on, I think the process is getting much easier. Okay, so when you practice a skill, you become way more faster than before. So we have x squared plus 11x plus 24 equals 0. So we have to factor them. X times x, the two numbers are, I think, 8 and 3. Okay, positive 8 and positive 3. 8 times 3 is 24. 8 plus 3 is 11. Okay, so the answer would be x equals negative 8. X equals negative 3. As you can see, I just changed the sign of this one. It became negative 8. And the 3 here became positive, negative. Okay, so this is our answer. I think we're almost there. The next question is x squared, x squared, x squared minus 7x minus 30 equals 0. Okay, again, the two factors would be, let us use 10 and 3. Okay, so they are both negative. I think one of them must be negative and one of them must be positive. Let us use this one. Okay, because the middle leading coefficient here is negative, so the big number here is negative as well. So negative 10 times 3 is negative 30, which is correct. Negative 10 plus 3 is negative 7. X equals 10, x equals negative 3. So these are the two roots. Why? So I changed the sign here, I changed sign here, and this is our roots. Okay, we have 10 and negative 3. Whoa. We have the final example here. We have x squared plus 2x plus 1 equals 0. Okay? Um, we have to factor that one. So x times x. Okay? So the two factors would be 1 and 1. So both positive. Okay? 1 times 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is positive 2. Okay? I think the answer would be x plus 1 equals 0. X plus 1 equals 0 as well. So I don't mind answering both of this because the answer must be the same. So um, finding the x here, okay, isolating the x equals negative 1 would be the final answer. Same with x plus 1 equals 0. The answer must be x equals negative 1. So I think they are the same, they have the same answer. So basically, our answer here is going to be x equals negative 1. And we end the maze. Okay, so there you go. Once again, you can follow the process by reviewing it. Uh, it must be, it is better if you can write the solutions. Okay, good job. See, so now after doing this maze, we will proceed to the next puzzle, which is the quadratic formula. We're solving quadratic equation using quadratic formula.